Hi, I'm Sean Waterman with FedScoop TV. Today we're at the Adobe Digital Government Assembly and I'm talking to Jacob Parcell, who's the Manager of Mobile Programs for the General Services Administration. Jacob, welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me today.
So I wanted to start by asking you about the most important digital tools that GSA uses in its work.
Okay. I think there are a number of tools that we use that are important for me. I think things that, by nature of my job, I'm collaborating with a lot of agencies, and I'm trying to spread the word on mobile and spread the word about innovation and digital services in the federal government. And I think the most important thing that we're doing these days are the 18F blog and the Digital Gov blog. 18F blog is really getting out the word out about innovation and how 18F is changing culture in government. And also the Digital Gov blog is getting word out about how agencies are changing their culture and how we're working across government to implement mobile, to implement social. I really like crowdsourcing tools like GitHub, HackPad, those sort of things that allow us to engage with agencies. You know, one of the challenges that we have sometimes is the interoperability of these systems across agencies. So sometimes I can use GitHub with an agency, sometimes it's the old phone, but anything that allows me to get in touch with agencies and spread the word about good innovation in the federal government is what I like to use. And 18F blog and Digital Gov blog are the two big ones I like.
Okay, great. And now, talk to me about social, because there's a new digital registry, the US Digital Registry that GSA is doing. What's that all about?
So that's a good question. My colleague Justin Herman and I have partnered up on the US Digital Registry. What this registry is a combination of the mobile apps registry, which we've been running for a couple of years since the digital government strategy. And we've also pulled in the Social Gov registry, which is a listing of all the social media accounts in the federal government. And what it really does is it verifies accounts that are official government information. So it's not, you know, fake GSA.gov or fake, you know, DHS-Twitter.gov or whatever. It's really about authenticating federal information and then turning that information into a usable API. So the way it works is if I'm a federal manager and I have a Twitter account that represents my agency, I go in, I log in via max.gov or OMB Max as some people call it. That authenticates that I'm a federal employee. The system recognizes that I am a federal employee. I register my Twitter account. That Twitter account is published into an API that can then be leveraged by Twitter or a Facebook account, or there are a number of other social media accounts, so it's not just those two, but those are the most popular right now. And what that does is those third-party companies like Twitter and Facebook can actually use that API to verify that, hey, this is GSA.gov Twitter, or this is DHS Twitter, and it gets that little blue check mark that you get on that. And so we're also doing mobile apps, and what we've been working with agencies is really updating their data, getting their data in, and you can find that on digitalgov.gov, just search US Digital Registry. The cool thing we're thinking about now is how do we start, now that we have all this data, we have over 7,000 accounts, and we only had about 3,000 to 4,000 when we launched it a couple weeks ago. So the response from federal agencies has been awesome. And so now what we're looking at, it's like, okay, we're getting the blue check marks and things. Do we start to move into federal websites and authenticating them? And also, how do we start engaging with the private sector and other companies about how this data can be leveraged? Can we, my colleague Justin Herman has been working with private sector industries to kind of talk about how they can hack this data and how they can use it for, you know, responding to emergencies. Just the possibilities are endless, and I really think it's an opportunity where private sector, public sector, think tank, whoever's imagination can be brought to this data pile and just kind of let us innovate from there and see what cool things we can do with all these accounts.
Wow, that is so exciting.
Yes, yes.
I got to ask one more question,
Okay.
now, Jacob, and this is a little bit more prosaic.
Okay.
But we had a lot of snow here in DC recently, and the federal government was closed, or federal government offices, I should say, were closed for several days. GSA appears to have kept running remarkably smoothly through that. What's your secret?
Well, we have a robust telework policy at GSA, so a number of us are used to teleworking multiple times a week. And honestly, you know, unlike my wife who gets the day off from school, I know since I have a telework policy, I have to work. But we have cloud tools that allow us to communicate. We have ways of engaging with each other that we just take for granted. So as long as my house has electricity and I can get on the internet, I can just be like I'm in the office. And we do this all the time. And, you know, I was even working a little bit on the registry the day it snowed during Snowzilla. So, you know, I also teleworked, I will say, back in Snowmageddon, but that makes me sound a little old probably. But yes, it's part of the practice and it's part of flexing my muscle. I never think when it snows that I'm going to be out unless the power goes out.
Well, that's great to hear. Thank you very much, Jacob.
Thank you, Sean.
And you can find out more about us on our FedScoop TV YouTube channel or at fedscoop.com.